Need to adjust this focus a tiny bit more. I think it's gotta go back just a hair. Is that better? That is better. Let's see. Can you see? What up, what up, what up? We might have some special guest here. Let me show you guys. I had the flu over the weekend, so I'm gonna get out of breath easily and hot easily. So, but we are on the Fujifilm Eterna with the Blazar Remus 85mm. Is my audio delayed from the video? Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Where's my phone? Let's see. Blazar Remus 85mm. Yeah, it's a little delayed. Let me fix that real quick before we get into it. Audio. Okay. That should fix the delay if there was any. We might have some special guests as well. Also, I'm going to say this a few times. I had the flu over the weekend. Today's the first day where I'm like, oh, I'm almost normal again. So my congestion is going to be even worse than usual on top of my allergies. And yeah, I'm going to be out of breath a little bit. But yeah, let me see how audio sounds now. Weekend, today's the first day where I'm like, oh, I'm almost normal again. So it looks a little too fast. Let's do 9 frames. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see, let's see, let's see. There's like a good minute-long delay on the live. Just FYI, guys, when you send in your chats. Yeah, guys, that flu knocked me out. That was bad. I'm pretty sure it was the flu. Let's see. There's like a good... Oh yeah, okay. Delay looks good. I'm gonna be sniffling a lot, but let's wait till we'll hang out till at least we get like 50 viewers. And then we'll start talking about this whole, I actually just recorded it. And then I was like, fuck it. I don't want to edit it. Let's just go live. And then, I'll use AI to make clips out of it. So shoot the S12 Remus. Tato is super hard for me to decide. Both have a lot of character. Remus will be more versatile in the long run. But if you want the ultimate anamorphic juice, then Kato's. If you're doing strictly like narrative stuff, just Kato's. But if you're doing like a mix of commercial stuff, plus narrative stuff, plus content stuff, I would say Remus. Remus, probably safer bet. Eterna's been good. Mixed feelings on it. It's a great camera. But yeah, stay tuned. We only got 29 viewers. This might be a small live. Let's hope more people come in. Share the video, y'all. And hit the thumbs up. Let the algorithm know we're about to talk about some controversial stuff in this live. Um, yeah. Um, I find it funny that a lot of the chat's already about gear stuff because we're going to be talking about this. And a lot of this is going to go into gear. Got 30 viewers. Again, when we get to 50, I'm going to get started. Until then, we can hang out. But as you guys see from the title, yeah, a lot of authenticity stuff to talk about here. Thank you for all the likes. We're getting the likes in. Keep them coming so we get more people in here. Again, we're on the Fujifilm Eterna with the Blazar Remus 1.5x full frame anamorphics. And we are in the open gate 4x3 mode. So this freaking Remus is covering the full sensor. Kind of wild. That's what we're getting there. I thought I had the blue Remus. Are those blue? Oh yeah, those are kind of blue. Wish they were a little more blue. Let's see. I don't try to be controversial. I think I'm just honest. Behind closed doors, creators say things that they publicly don't say. I don't know why they don't more publicly say things, but I just say them because it's like, if it's what I believe in, then I'm confident enough to say it out loud. I'm going to mute myself. Again, guys, I'm going to say this. I'm going to preface this a few more times in this video, but I'm getting over the flu. I had the flu over the weekend. So I already have like year-round allergies, but I'm going to be even more congested than usual. I gotta show you guys. So I'm gonna show you guys what I take when I get sick. I have some friends in Hollywood, actors, writers, producers, all of that. But one of them, he's an actor. He's in a bunch of like the Western stuff. He's the guy that Brad Pitt punches out and what's that movie called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The guy that Brad Pitt punches out, a buddy of mine, recommended this. So every time I get sick, I start taking these, and it kind of expedites the sickness. But yeah, and then I have a Vicks personal vapor thing that I stuff my face in to help out. So that's been helping me recover pretty fast. I'm on day 5, and I'm already like getting back to work here, so. Oh, weird. Maybe it's delayed. That's interesting, though. Did anybody else get a notification who has the notifications turned on? I should probably shout that out more for people to turn on the notification. Oh, strange. All right, we got 45. That's enough. We'll start getting going here. We might have some special guests on here, too. Let me just go over a few more comments and then we'll get into it because I have a lot to say. Again, I already filmed this whole video literally right before this live, but I was like, I don't have time to edit it. I'm so behind on work because I was out for the past 5 days. So I just figured we go live about it instead. But I think we need to adapt. AI is a tool that's here to stay. Many complain about the lack of authenticity in AI, but they don't complain about green screens. Facts. Money cam, they want money, but I'm glad you have strong opinions. Everybody wants money. Everybody who buys a camera wants money. This is, okay, let's get into it. So I feel like our niche has been consumed by consumerism to where people now buy cameras because they're like, oh, I want to be a professional and start making money off my camera. The art has already people have been trying to kill the art already. That was a sus hand movement. People have already been murdering the art form behind photography and filmmaking. So consumerism. Like art was never going to last capitalism. And AI is just another evolution of capitalism in this art form. So I think a lot of people are coming to terms of like, oh, fuck, you know, am I an artist? So we're going to get into it more. I think Kofi is back. Guys, he's been texting me like screenshots and stuff of what he shot. I'm very excited for his African content, or his content from Africa, however you want to say it. We got Mr. Tom Shaw in the house. Guys, Tom's a little, I won't say the R word, but you guess which R word that is. But yeah, shout out to Tom. Live streaming on Eterna as well. I love it. Yeah, guys. So again, we're on the Fujifilm Eterna with the Blazar Remus Anamorphic. So you can see. And that's where we're streaming from. Pretty dope. Mr. Camera Junkie. Also, I am using Mr. Camera Junkie's plugin to stream in Anamorphic. It's called MCJ Anamorphic. You get the Apple App Store. Oh yeah, I think by tomorrow, or maybe by like Thursday, I'm gonna be like good to go. I don't know what this means, but okay. What about Austin Butler? Slop goblins. All right, super sus. All right, guys, let's start talking about it. Actually, we might have some special guests in here too, so let me send them the link. Copy the link. Okay. Oh, the notification came in late. All right. So let's talk about it. There's a handful of different things here that we need to showcase. First off, let's talk about Maddie Hapoya's post. Maddie Hapoya did a Instagram post showing a new AI tool. It's actually, these things very handy for pre-production, on where you could choose your lens and your camera and have it create a shot for you with that setup. I think that's pretty cool. For pre-production, I think that would be pretty rad, because then you would be able to utilize that to show a client, hey, what look are you cool with? Instead of going out, wasting a few days to film and do camera tests and stuff. But if you go down in the comments on his post, people are hating it. And it's a little sad to see, because I don't think people realize there's no stopping this. AI is here to stay. So before we get into that, let's talk about the authenticity stuff though. Then we'll get into the AI stuff. So the authenticity issue. This original conversation popped up in my head because I think it was live like a couple weeks ago. I think it was in a live or YouTube comment or something. Somebody said that a couple of months ago, they started to see a lot of creators saying, oh, I want to start being more authentic on my channel. But then moving forward, their content hasn't changed at all. And then, you know, that brings up the question of like, oh wait, has this creator not been authentic this whole time? Are they saying they've been lying this whole time? And if they're not changing what they're doing, what does that mean? They're going to be more authentic. So I have a strong belief that people saying, oh, I'm going to be more authentic now, I think what they mean is, I want to be more unique now. I want to be more myself now. The issue is though, I think a lot of people here in our space, and again, I'm not trying to talk shit to anybody, I think a lot of people in our space don't realize that they might not have an identity. They might not have a passion. They might not have anything that they're super excited to stand up for. And I think that's more so what they mean. I think they mean they want to be more unique on their channel. And you know, that's being unique on your channel and then showcasing that, that's authentic. Standing your ground, not selling out, yada, 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 that's authentic. So I think a lot of creators with the whole AI discussion and algorithm and our niche kind of dying out, I think our niche has ran its course. I think that's where a lot of creators are now saying, oh no, I want to be more authentic. I think this is the issue that people are having. And I've been saying this for a while now. You know, in our space, we have creators who, you know, are very passionate talking about the gear, but they're not passionate about using the gear. And I think that's totally okay. But I think a lot of people in the space have got kind of confused because I'll use Gerald and Dunn, for instance. Gerald and Dunn and I are homies. We love each other. We don't agree on a lot of things, but we agree on some things. And we have mutual respect for each other. And, you know, even he has said, you know, camera gear is plateauing. So he's like, I think I might retire from the gear space. And props to him just for being honest with himself and with the audience. In our private conversations, I've encouraged him, look, that's cool, but I would hate to see you go away. Like, I still think his videos are very important. And again, guys, I'm getting over the flu right now, so I'm gasping for air. I encouraged him, I was like, I would still love to see you do gear videos and stuff, or not gear videos, tech videos. And so I think this is kind of where our niche is going to go is, you know, are you a tech head or are you creative? Yeah, you could be a creative and do both, but what's your narrative? What are you passionate about? What do you stand up for? What do you, you know, what things in the world do you want to craft a narrative around? What messages are you passionate about? I don't think a lot of creators have that. I think a lot of creators, you know, I'm going to be totally blunt and honest here. I think there's a lot of creators of, what's that word? Or that saying, those, and I don't mean this in a derogative way, but I think it's the easiest way to explain. Those who can't do, teach. I do think there's a core of audience or a core of creators on YouTube who, you know, they came onto YouTube and they knew a lot about the gear. And so they showcased a lot of the gear. And those videos did so well. Those channels all did incredibly well. But those are starting to dry up a little bit. That whole niche has started to drive up a little bit on here. And so, Kofi, don't give me that. Sad I wasn't invited on this live because I have thoughts. Y'all, I've been pushing Kofi. I'm like, yo, you should put some content. You should do this. You should go live where you're out there. He goes, nah, I'm on vacation, man. And now look at him. Now look at it. All of a sudden, he's not on vacation. Anyways, Kofi is a perfect example, though. Kofi has a lot of authenticity to him because he has a culture he's very passionate about. He has a lot of things that he's super passionate about, whether it's working out or narratives or short films. Kofi's one of the hardest working people in our space here. He is authentic organically. So with the creators who are saying, oh, I want to be more authentic, it's like, authentic about what though? What are you going to be authentic about? You just not taking certain sponsorships, which you shouldn't have been in the beginning, doesn't mean you're being authentic now. Like, what's your character? What's your personality? What's your aura, as the kids are saying now? Oh, Kofi's back from vacation now. Anyways, I'm cooking Kofi. So I think this is what's going to happen here on the space. I think a lot of creators are going to start tapping out, which, you know, that's their right to do so. If they want to retire and get out of this or shift niches, I encourage that because it's like, you know, we don't all have to try to be filmmakers on here or pro photographers and yada, yada, yada. It's okay if you love the tech behind the camera gear. A lot of people still love that. And I still encourage that. I still like the tech behind a lot of it, though. I do like a lot more about almost knocked down my coffee on my piano. You know, I care more about, you know, how gear allows me to create, if it opens up new ideas and allows me to create original ideas, you know. The gear's not coming up the ideas for me, but the way I handle the gear can make me shoot differently. And that's why I care so much about gear sometimes. But it's always a tool to get to an execution of my vision. So I guess that'll lead us more into the AI stuff. So Adam Mosseri, whatever his name is, he's the head of Instagram. He did a post on the future of, you know, kind of who we are as creators in the filmmaking space. He's a little bit more controversial one part, which I don't know if he implied this or and maybe his grammar kind of messed it up. I don't know. But he did a post, the story slides. We're not going to go over all of it, but he says, everything that made creators matter, the ability to be real, to connect, to have a voice that couldn't be faked, is now accessible to anyone with the right tools. Right there, facts. But then right below it, he goes, deepfakes are getting better. AI generates photos and videos indistinguishable from captured media. So that's what I'm confused about, because he's like, is he saying because of AI, anybody can be authentic? I think we had a more nuanced conversation with him. I don't think that's what he meant. But then he says something very interesting that really applies to our niche here, which is kind of wild that he said this. He said, also guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up because this is going to get it out. I really want a lot of people to hear this message because I think this is a therapy session for our community here. So hit the thumbs up. But again, Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, said this: the camera companies are betting on the wrong aesthetic. He's literally talking to Sony, everybody. Sony, I'm blanking out on names right now. Sony, Lumix, Nikon, Red, I don't know, everybody. The camera companies are betting on the wrong aesthetic. They're competing to make everyone look like a pro photographer from 2015. But in a world where AI can generate flawless imagery, the professional look becomes the tell. That's a fucking mic drop right there. So the fact that AI, like here's what's been happening. Anybody and their mom can now buy a professional camera, shoot professional looking images. Anybody could do it. Anybody could slap on a preset, make it look fire. They could slap on my presets, make it look fire. It's easy now, but that doesn't mean they could tell a story. That doesn't mean that they can style it. That doesn't mean they could do set design. That doesn't mean they can do, that doesn't mean they could craft their own world. All it means is they could get a pretty image. Well, guess what? Fucking AI can do that now too. Can AI tell original stories? Can AI generate original stories? It can't. It could copy original stories, but it's just a copy. So I think this really coincides with what we're talking about here with authenticity, because all these creators are saying, I want to be more authentic. Authentic? Is that the word? I'm like mixing it with autistic. All the creators are saying they want to be more authentic. What are they going to be authentic about? If AI can do that, what they're doing, it's putting the pressure on a lot of people to be more authentic. And I think when creators saying, I want to be more authentic on my channel, obviously I do think some are really meaning that and saying, hey, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want to do now. But I think there's other creators that are saying that, but what they really mean is, hey, I want to figure out my identity, and that's what I want to be more of on my channel. I want to be more unique on my channel. That's easier said than done. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if no one's popped up in the... Did they? No, they did not. Yeah, this flu's still getting me, y'all. Let me drink some water real quick. Ugh, I was cooking. All right. There's a couple other slides in here. Right after that, again, this is the head of Instagram. He said, flattering imagery is cheap to produce and boring to consume. So everybody's saying Instagram's dead, the algorithm's dead, nobody likes photography, this and that. Flattering imagery is cheap to produce and boring to consume. Again, this is all going back to the authenticity, creating originality, People want content that feels real. Savvy creators are I'm a lazy reader, an ADHD reader, so I look at the first and last letter and I assume the word. Savvy creators are leaning into unproduced, unflattering images. In a world where everything can be perfect, imperfection becomes a signal. Kofi literally just said in the chat, you could get on the sauce and still look like shit. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but I don't know if he's talking about a different type of sauce, but you can still, you know, draft a story, an original story. You could be original as fuck. Film it on your iPhone. 0 LUTs, 0 presets, 0 filters, and people will eat it up because it's original. This is what he's saying right here. Again, he said, flattering imagery is cheap to produce and boring to consume. People want content that feels real. Savvy creators are leaning into unproduced, unflattering images in a world where everything can be perfect and perfect becomes a signal. God, he's cooking in this post. So again, this whole authenticity thing, it's coming to a point. Again, guys, hit that damn thumbs up so more people hear this message. He's basically summarizing that AI's here and it's making everybody who's a lazy creator in terms of buying gear, kind of more on the tech head side of things, shooting pretty images, but not telling stories, not being original. AI is going to kill that creator. We can agree on that. AI is going to take those type of jobs. We can agree on that. But everybody who has originality, all the creators saying, oh, I want to be more authentic on my channel. Those are the channels that are going to survive. Those are the creators that are going to survive. And in my opinion, those are always the creators that are always going to be, you know, we're going to rise to the top because they are original. And that's what people crave, originality. With that said, though, I think the mass population, I don't think they give a fuck about AI in terms of, I think in a year or two, when Netflix and all these streaming services are consumed by AI slop, I have a feeling, you know, our parents, our siblings, they don't give a fuck if it was made by AI or a real person. Our world's based on a capitalism consumer, you know, people just want media. People just want to be zombies to media and just tune out the world. They don't give a fuck if it's made by a real person or AI. So all of us here are saying, oh, anti-AI this, we're being so out of touch because, yeah, in our niche, sure, like AI fucking sucks. In the real fucking world, though, companies, brands do not give a fuck if they're hiring us or AI. They care about their dollars. The consumers of that content, some of them will care if it's made by real people or not, but the mass majority of them, they won't give a fuck if it's made by AI or real people. They don't care. They don't. So us being romantic thinking that, you know, if we don't use AI, we're going to be better than the people are using. It's just, it's a load of shit. And the sad part is, on top of this, our government's not going to stop this. No one's going to stop this. So what do? Do we cry about it and try to push against it like the people did when the internet first came out, when digital cameras first came out, when social media first came out? There's all these anti-this, anti-that. Look at those people now. They didn't make it. So it's here to stay. It's if we either shut the fuck up and learn how to utilize it or get ahead of it. We learn how to be original. We learn how to, you know, instead of following the trends, we create the trends. That's how you survive in this world now. Let's go back to this post here. He says rawness isn't just aesthetic preference anymore. It's proof. It's defensive, a way of saying this is real because it's imperfect. I think it was slide number 6. Authenticity is becoming a scarce resource, driving more demand for creator content, not less. The bar is shifting from can you create to can you create something that only you could create? Me personally, I have zero fear of AI because I know all of my visions, all of my ideas are all original. AI, even if people start using AI to recreate my shit, those people will probably come back to my content or they'll somehow find my content through that AI. And I'm going to be the one making that content for AI to copy, for others to copy. I'm not scared of that. I'm already used to that. For the past like 6 years of my career, I've had photographers reach out to the same teams, go out to the same locations, try to literally recreate my shoots like all the way to like down to every single detail. And before my autistic brain would get so angry, it was like, what the fuck? Like that was my original shoot. That was my original idea. That's so like just, that shouldn't be happening. People just to copy it. I had to grow and learn how to accept that that's what's just going to happen. And so, you know, I'm already expecting this AI world. I'm already used to this AI world copying. So I don't know. On top of that, there was a Joe Rogan podcast. I really don't, I think Joe Rogan is a freaking dummy these days now. I think he's out of touch, like super out of touch. But Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were on his podcast and talking about AI in film. And they had the most realistic, nuanced discussion about it. On one, you know, AI will be adopted into Hollywood, just like every other technology has been. To think that AI is just going to kill all these filmmaking jobs, it's going to kill some of them, but it's also going to create new jobs. It's going to expedite processes. So where before, you know, an indie film, there could be an amazing indie film idea, but it was going to be unrealistic to produce it because it's going to require a lot of special effects. Now, special effects company can start utilizing AI to expedite that process. That's going to help get that film done. Now, obviously, there's going to be bad actors who are trying to use AI to create ideas, generate ideas, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I care about. I don't care about that. And I don't support that. But I do support utilizing AI as a tool, just how we use generative fill in Photoshop, just how we use ChatGPT to correct our grammar or to organize our thoughts and blah, blah, blah. I think all of that, it's the same shit. But I don't support AI generating ideas and copying ideas. But we can't stop it either. So, I don't know. Let's go to the chat. I'm still losing my breath because my sinuses are just screwed. Let me get a cough drop real quick. Clear my sinuses up. Ricola. All right. You guys, these Ricolas taste so good. You want one? I'm gonna have one. You want one? Can't have one. All right. I'm going back in the trap. Let's see what we missed. We missed a lot. All right. Classic painters hated when film cameras came out. Film photographers weren't happy when digital cameras came out. And on progression. Yep. Mm-hmm. Let me lower my exposure real quick. Let's turn on the Eterna's NDs. Eternal NDs for the win. Oh, that's too dark though. Let's turn them back off. I guess I'll close down my lens to stop. That's better. There we go. All right. AR for videos like having an app to throw a dice instead of throwing a real dice. Both serve purposes, but only one is authentic. Ah, that's stupid. I don't like that analogy. I'm not saying you're stupid, but I think that analogy is stupid. Pre-pro is fine, but people are going to AI gen an entire project with it. Tom, we can't stop it. And if people want to watch that, we can't stop it. Our government's not going to create laws to stop it. Us bitching and crying about it's not going to stop it. So in my mind, I'm like, let them do that. I'm going to just keep doing what I do. And we'll see down the road what lasts. And I think we can both agree what's going to last and what's not going to last. Brands now want basic project shots and generate the rest with AI. Feels like photography is becoming simple digitalization. What should regular creators do now to stay financially relevant? Well, if AI is going to take your job as a photographer, you're always replaceable. You are never safe. Anybody could always take over your job. Now, when I was doing more pro work, the reason I was getting booked was because there wasn't a lot of people that could do what I was doing. And I was mixing in like this 90s fashion photography with Western. And there weren't a lot of people doing it. Now, fast forward a handful of years, there's a million motherfuckers doing it now. And so when I saw that, you know, as that was happening, I started to get more into video. Next thing you know, I could put together projects that looked like there's a team on it, but it was just me. I got really good at coming up with ideas and making edits in my mind as I'm shooting. And so as I'm shooting, I could basically shoot from my edit. One of my best videos I ever did was from Shepler's. And for the edit, I had an idea from the edit where the beats hit and everything. While I was in Montana, staying in a log cabin, there was a guitar up there. I won't say the photographer's name because he's kind of a douchebag. But Joel, he dated Joel back in the day. And Joel, freaking the singer Joel, I know. I have so many weird stories in my life. So I'm playing this Joel's guitar that was gifted to this guy. And I'm recording a song on my iPhone. And that song becomes the commercial song for this video. And the reason the brand liked it so much was because it was original. There was no other way I was going to be able to create that video unless I was able to record that song, edit all that idea, and shoot for that edit. Who else was going to do that? There's not that many people in that niche at that time that could do something like that. So if I kept doing stuff like that, I have zero fucking fear of AI. But also when it comes to photography, this is another thing I want to talk about in the future, near future. I think AI is going to show those who, man, this cough drop's really helping. Anybody who's been saying, oh, photography's dead, Instagram's dead, the feed's dead, the algorithm's dead. I think those people were always a commodity in photography. They were just shooting pretty pictures. Just like Adam Mosseri said in his post, AI can do that now. So how do you survive that? You tell real fucking stories. You shoot real fucking stories. You just don't shoot pretty images. You craft a story. You craft a world. Even my fashion photography, there's no special story behind it. But I know what I'm able to do is I'm able to create a different world. And that world is the world that I see. That's the world that I want to share with the world. And so I try my best to create that through colors, through textures, through locations, through the models, through directing the models, through the way I shoot it. All of that crafts a world that I live in and that I want to share with the world. I have zero fear of AI because of that. What up, brother? Guys, check out Thomas. I feel like Thomas is one of those authentic creators whose channel is going to grow a lot this year. So shout out to Tom. Not exactly. Hey, guys, Foxtail Whip. He buys like old cinema cameras and fixes them up. It's pretty wicked. It's wild. Bro, these wood panels, these are just from Lowe's. You can see, I just used some drywall, or not even drywall nails. I forgot what type of nails they are, but there's like little ribs in them for her pleasure. So this is faux. Like when I move out of this place, these will easily come back down. They break very easily though, so that's gonna be stressful moving them. Again, even something like this. How many YouTubers do you see that get those modern wood panels that fucking everybody was having? Or does the same old fucking backgrounds and stuff? I think a person be like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, so I need to get that set up. It's like, what the fuck? Who said that was the standard for having a backdrop? You know, I did this because I fucking love when I see this in films and stuff, like these 70s wood panels. So that's why I put them up. It took me like a quarter of a day to put these up. Again, that's originality. And it's not me but trying to be like, oh, I'm different, unique, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't give a fuck about any of that. It's me saying, I like that, I want to do that. I'm not consuming all this stuff of everybody who's copying each other and everything. I'm trying to do what I want to do. And again, this is why I'm not scared of AI. Agreed. This is a whole different aspect of this conversation too. Community is everything. I think a lot of creators starving for an identity, unfortunately, do not have a niche community they're part of. Let me just say, I don't even think it's a niche community that they're part of. I just think it's kind of being, if you are an originator, you'll naturally build a community because you're going to build a lot of like-minded people. People who like the same textures and colors and depth and stories and narratives and blah, blah, blah. That's community. And being able to, you know, I think it grossed out if I say my audience or my followers, blah, blah. Because the core people that fuck with me, I fuck with them because we're like-minded people. I know they like my content because they are of like-minded. Or even if they just appreciate what I do. I can appreciate that they like that world building that I try to do. That's community there. Ooh, is this a hit on movie reviewers? I won't go there. I won't go there. I'll say that for another time. Is AI a tool for artists or is AI a tool for replacing artists? Both. AI is a tool for a lot of things. All my life, people have tried to put me in a box. Like literally, I remember even as a teenager, I would get made fun of by the homies for the way I would dress. And then literally 6 months later, those motherfuckers were wearing the same shit. But the whole time, they're always talking shit, making fun of me, teasing me. Or they'd be like, why are you wearing that? Why are you wearing this? As if people cannot express themselves. But again, 6 months later, doing the same shit. And so for me, I have a open understanding that, you know, AI can be a lot of things. It's not one thing. I feel like he meant because of AI, anything video can be inauthentic, fake. This is a scary thing. Not saying the genie can go back in the bottle, but that's just what it is. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. Maybe that is what he was trying to say. The genie will never go back in the bottle. I think AI is going to plateau and people's interest is going to plateau. But while it does plateau, it's going to be, you know, seamless within content and media now and film and everything. So I just get kind of annoyed that there's so much pushback on it because I'm like, no one's going to stop it. It is literally here. We are the only people that care because we think people care. That we care. They don't fucking care about us. They don't care about our jobs. Companies don't care about our jobs. They don't care about paying us. They don't care about any of that. They pay us because they have to. And now that they don't have to, it's not going to stop them. So in my mind, I'm like, we can either bitch and cry about it or I can figure out ways to get ahead of it. Homie's hitting the nail on the head. Yep, it's the main driving. Oh, yep, it's the main thing driving the surge in older, bad quality cameras. You guys, a couple of years ago, all of like my LA model female friends, all of them were getting these like cheap digital cameras. I'm like, where'd you get that? Why'd you get that one? They didn't give a fuck. They just cared that it looked old. Like that's becoming the thing. You know, in LA, in the fashion world, there's trends that happen earlier on, and then a year or two later, they start picking up. That's now, you know, that's like the younger crowd pushing back on AI, because when everything looks perfect and pretty, it's like, and you can even see celebrities and shit. Sorry, guys, cough drop, getting over the flu still. You can even see on Instagram, like that's the trend now, like posting freaking the Golden Globes. Had a photographer, I'm not shitting on her or anything, but she took it looked like a point and shoot film camera, and it looks like the autofocus wasn't working because all of her shots were out of focus. Golden Globe still posted it though because it was a fucking vibe. Imperfect is now what's cool. Imperfection is what's going to look authentic now. Now the scary thing is going to be when AI starts replicating imperfections, and not AI imperfections, but human imperfections. That's when it's going to be like, fuck. That's when it's really going to be all about originality. It will start to be more and more important. Kofi said, AI is kind of what steroids was to the fitness world. You give everyone PEDs, peptides, is that what you're talking about? But the people at the Olympia will still be the people at the Olympia. You can get on the sauce and still look like shit, yeah? I don't think Adam's saying they're going to push anything specific on Instagram. I think what Instagram does, whether people like it or not, they see what people are gravitating towards and they push that. So people are gravitating towards more authentic, raw, unfiltered content. And then Instagram's gonna be like, well, let's fucking push more of that because that's what the people want. We get so mad at these platforms, but they're literally fucking doing what the mass majority want. Who are we to complain about that? If we can't keep up with that, that's not Instagram's fault. We could blame the audience, but they're just doing what they want to do, you know? No, I don't believe that. I think AI come up with original ideas, but I think that's where the point comes in where the masses do. I think the masses will love that. They're like, oh my God, AI created this original story. But I think this is also Hollywood's fault because Hollywood has fallen into this trap of superheroes this and box office this. And so I think Hollywood's going to have to retrain the mass population of loving stories again. Because when AI could just pump out original stories, when we get to that point, people are like, okay, cool. That's kind of boring now. Okay, so AI's doing that? That's cool, but like, where's the soul? Where's the humanity? I think that's where the point's going to be, where we will have a duty, because I think we'll have the opportunity to start re-educating the viewer on what's good and what's bad, you know? But at that point too, it's like we're going to be in the society of Wall-E. We're all going to be fat in our floating chairs just consuming and eating. Yeah, AI still desperately needs regulation, identification, and moderation. The sad thing is almost every country's deep in bed with these AI companies. And these AI companies are relying on governments to bail them out when the bubble pops. It's a mess, guys. It's a mess. It's really, I don't think people understand how deep and already corrupt a lot of this AI bullshit is already. But yeah, I don't know who would ever, at least here in the States, I don't know what politicians would be brave enough to do that, sadly. Yeah, I agree. For me, part of my doubling down though is like just what we're talking about right now. Like AI is not going anywhere. Like either you can cry, go cry in your corner, or accept it and move on, you know? But crying about it's literally not going to stop anything. You know, leaving comments and this and anti this and anti that, you're wasting your own time. Yeah. And this all goes back to authenticity. A lot of the creators saying, oh, I want to be authentic more. But it's like, what are you going to be authentic about though? And like, what have you not been authentic about at this point? You know? You can see that they might also be the ones that are like, oh, I'm anti-AI. It's like, well, I see why. Yeah. I think it's that simple. Whoever can make the greatest content will get the eyes. And what's great content differs for every viewer. Some viewers just want to see pretty things. Other viewers want to be emotionally moved. Sorry if you guys hear me chewing the cough drop. And that's a scary thing, you know? Again, I think this is why this always comes back to, no matter how good AI gets, if you are a real original, if you're actually authentic about your originality, you're going to be good. I like that. Justin's cooking in this chat right now. Be the source in 2026. Don't be the trend chaser. Don't chase what everybody else is doing. Be the person who's starting the trend. I think that should be every creator's goal. Start the trends. Don't be the trend, I guess. Authenticity is only relevant if the creator's authentic presentation resonates with an audience. Yeah. And it's a more complex a way of saying, again, authenticity is only authentic if you have something to be authentic about. I guess that's still just a messy way of saying it. Tom said, I'm not afraid of AI replacing me. I'm just exhausted seeing it every day. It's talentless and BS. Yeah, I agree. But also with that, I'm not like really on Instagram looking at content and all that. Even when I get stuck in the ADHD doom scroll, I'm not really digesting any of it. I'm literally just scrolling. I like this. Gary said, use the tools available to tell the best stories you can tell using your mind and you're being authentic to yourself. I like that. I like that. I don't give a fuck what the tool is. If it helps me execute my original idea and vision, I'm going to fucking use that bitch. Kofi said, let me in, coach. Kofi, you want in? I'm going to let Kofi in so I can have a break because my cold is definitely, I'm getting dizzy at times. I need to drink some water. So again, guys, I'm on the Fujifilm Eterna with the Blazar Remus. So we're 4x3 full sensor readout with the Blazar Remus. This is crazy. I was not expecting the Blazar Remus to cover this full Eterna medium format sensor. Like all good art, it will overshadow the slop and the gray curves will rise to the top. Yep, 1000% agree. Yeah, we got Ricola in the States. Ricola is the only cough drops that doesn't mess up my stomach. I have a very sensitive stomach. It's kind of annoying. A lot of processed stuff doesn't agree with me. I'm lactose intolerant. A lot of the gluten here in the States. When I was in Italy, I had a shit ton of pasta and it had zero effect on me. Zero lethargicness. Fucking loved it. But yeah, the Ricolas are fire. Seems to think that it's super useful in all domains other than their own. Yeah. That's funny. Yep. AI is so much worse than we think. Anything shocking, groundbreaking, epic would world changing. Anything and everything we ever see will mean always. We'll question everything. Yeah, that's a different part of the conversation, brother. Like Rhett's talking about a whole different thing. In the future, you know, we're gonna have to question everything. Everything. This is why we need fucking regulations. With this current administration, the White House, though, they're just anything that's willing to pay. They ain't gonna do anything. An inauthentic creator could do better than thousands of authentic creators if they resonate. It's always going to be easier to get an audience by being inauthentic, but what people want. Yeah, that's a whole different part of it. I think specifically in our niche, though, if you're being inauthentic, like I won't get in. I have examples, but I don't want to start drama. But I think we see it, you know, when people do certain things, say certain things, they get attacked for it. And just being inconsistent, I think it kind of shows who's being authentic and who's not being authentic. It will be accepted to replace tasks like VFX formerly done by human artists, but not fully generate AI. Yeah, and I think that's where Hollywood's going, at least. I personally think I don't think I personally don't think AI is gonna like take over everything. I think the younger generations will get too bored of it before it can do that. The younger generation already, like, you know, vinyl is having a resurgence. Old shitty cameras is having a resurgence. Film's having a resurgence. I think at least the current wave seems to be that, you know, the younger generations wants to experience authentic, real, substantial things. Art is constantly changing, evolving world, but if you always being creative, new tools or old ones, the story will remain relevant. Yeah. And that's just called adapting. Like every great artist of our past adapted. They did things that nobody else was doing. They did things that no one else thought they should be doing. They did things that you know, people looked down on. And next thing you know, they were innovating. Are we at Kofi? Let me get my headphones real quick here. Ugh. Yeah, guys, my cold's still slapping. Where are my headphones? Let's see. The headphones in here. They are. Actually, let's do these guys. Kofi, 1 second. Guest in the green room. Kofi, I'm adding you, but I don't see you. Guys, hang on, bring Kofi in. If you can figure out his damn thing. Yeah, this is AI. That's AI for sure. All right, guys. Kofi might be failing here. There he is. Jesus. Let me get my headphones in real quick. All right. Oh. Why does it keep going away? Kofi, come back. You can have it all. There is an end. Baby, come back. You can have it all. Why is it keep dipping out? There we go. Jesus.
Okay, there we go. I'm just going to use this camera. I think the USB cord I'm using on the S1R2 is a little bit different, so it's not working as well.
You probably need a Thunder thing.
I thought I had one. This is the small rig one that delivers power to the 212, so I thought it would be powerful enough, but turns out it's not.
All right, guys, how's the audio sounding? Also, Kofi, put in headphones.
Headphones?
I can hear an echo.
You can hear echo? Fuck my life. Okay.
Or turn down your computer.
Yeah, you know what? Let me do that.
Check, check, check. Okay, cool. I don't hear it now.
You don't hear it?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Kofi, we're talking about, and Kofi, Terry, all of us, I'm sure I'm in multiple group chats. I'm sure Kofi's in multiple group chats. Everybody's having this conversation of, I want to be more authentic, more this and that. I think for Kofi and I, it's extremely easy because we have very, very, very vibrant cultures that we are passionate about. We're not exploiting our cultures. We are genuinely passionate about sharing our cultures. So for us, we're kind of born into like a natural authenticity. Now, there are people who can appropriate it. There are people who could try to use it for their own gain. I'm very, very, very careful about doing that. There's a lot of things that I do in the indigenous culture that I never talk about, that people in the indigenous community don't even know that I've been a part of, because I don't want my name on it. Like, I just want to be a part of it. So for Kofi and I, is that a cheat code? I don't think so, because I think everybody has a culture, but I think some people lack culture in terms of following their own identity. But even outside of that, we still have identities. Like Kofi's all about his fitness and everything. For me, I'm a musician. I like all these warm Southwest textures and everything. Sure, that can be part of my culture, but that's also just shit that I just like live and breathe. So Kofi just came back from Africa. He's been showing me some of the stuff he shot. I'm incredibly fucking excited for him to start putting out content from it, because it's some of the best shit I've ever seen him do. So you could see his passion. But you could see his passion when he was out there. He was cooking, guys. So with all that said, what's your opinion on all this?
I think some people might confuse the word authenticity with personality, and I think the earlier version of YouTube, you could have got, like, it happens in film too, right? Like, you can get away from not having a personality by having like something of value, right? Like, you could be a good director, have a terrible personality, really, and get by. I think with the age of like content creation, and because a lot of things are getting democratized, you can replicate some of those things, and then what's all is left is people watching people. And I don't think AI is going to be able to replicate what that happens when you talk to and you watch people. And I think when we say authenticity, we confuse it with like, oh, I made a mistake here and there, or I have a funny way of talking or something. And I think it's just, if you've been trying to hide your personality. Hang on, can't hear Kofi. Hang on, some people can't hear me.
There you go. It's louder. Wait, it went louder for a second. No, now you're lower.
I'm lower?
Yeah.
How about now? How about now?
There. That might be too loud.
This is too loud?
Try that.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I think what like authenticity, I think people are confusing that with like just having a personality. Like, you don't necessarily have to have this elaborate culture to have authentic content on YouTube, right? And like, even part of that authenticity is like, hey, maybe I don't. Like, for example, I just came back from Ghana. You won't see a single shot of a village from me. If you want to, like, because you've already seen that stuff. And when you're talking about hijacking authenticity, what ended up happening is every time you see someone says, I shot in Africa, what do you think? They think, well, I shot in a village, or I shot zoo animals, or some other BS, right? Authenticity is going in there, knowing who you are in any situation, and just being consistent with who you are based on the content that you're making, right? You can't AI prompt that. And I think that's where you're going to see that big schism between people that have been doing a lot of things. And it's like, it's something that's so simple, right? Like, for example, if I take, I don't know, Maddie made a video. What's authentic to Maddie? He's a family man. I think Christian, like, he has Christian values, and there's certain things that like he holds near and dear. His content doesn't necessarily need to change, just has to be consistent with those things that are already about him. And the same thing happens to everybody else. But when you've put on a mask all the way up until now, yeah, of course you're going to be scared of AI, because now AI can make the mask too. So that's kind of my idea with authenticity. In terms of like AI, I don't think it's taking over the world. I think it's going to end up being used as a tool. I think it's a scary tool because there are implications from it. There are, right? Like, some people are going to have their jobs have a little bit of turbulence, but most people will find out a way how to, most people will figure out a way how to retool. When autofocus came out, First AC still existed because there was other things they had to do. People are going to, they're going to figure out different things, and that's scary. Change is scary, right? But at the same time, like, for me personally, like, the cat's already out of the bag. There's nothing we can really do. And even from a business standpoint, the people that give less of a fuck than you do are going to use it against you. So your best case scenario is learning how to use it, right? Like, imagine, like, I made the PEDs reference. But one of the things also like you can make reference to is like, what happens if you give everybody in the United States a gun? What is it, like? What's your best next steps? It's not go on Twitter and start yelling about banning guns. They're already out there. So your best
Yeah.
thing to do is learn how to de-escalate, learn how to shoot, and learn how to protect, like learn how to put away the thing so it's safe. So there's accidents that don't happen. You don't find yourself in the wrong end of a situation, because that's kind of what AI is. AI gives the potential for people to do really great things or really bad things,
Yeah.
but pretending the thing's going to go back in the box. Like it, I don't know how to fight rifles with pitchforks.
Yeah.
I don't. And I like, that's been something where like, I just came off a call right now talking about like AI stuff. And I'm like, I don't want it to take over the world. I would be completely fine if it doesn't exist, but it does. And I've already lost gigs from persisting to not use it.
Yeah.
So me yelling about it doesn't make it go away. I have to at least bare minimum learn how the tool works, because it's going to be used against me, and I don't want to be ignorant to something that's going to get used against me over and over again.
Yeah. It was while seeing Maddie's Instagram post. And I mean, he probably got paid crazy money for it, let's be honest. But at the same time, like that is a useful tool. I think he would have been better off if he just said for pre-production, because I think that's a fucking fantastic tool for pre-production. Again, you can pair up any camera with any lens and AI will generate a video. For me, I would see that as, hey, I have this client. They're not sure if they want to shoot anamorphic or spherical. These are the lens options we have. So let me generate some video so they can see. I don't think that client's gonna be like, oh, why don't we just use AI? No. I think most of the clients that are coming to me, they want me to film it. They want my idea. They want me to craft it. So I don't think they're gonna be able to find somebody, hey, we need to find somebody to make a Cam Mackey type AI video. If I'm already hired, I'm already hired. Maybe the next time they would, but I think in the long run, they'd be like, you know what? We saved some money on that, but it doesn't seem to have hit as much. And it wasn't as original. I'm sure Cam could have came out with certain ideas to get over these hurdles and that hurdles, and it probably would have been more original. He probably would have re-innovated, probably would have took it to another level. I'll be getting hired again. So someone said in the chat, I love the world building idea. I love the world building idea. Something I have always craved to do because no one speaks human anymore. But man, it's being counterculture to a point, in my honest opinion. The world building, and that's like what I love doing. That's the fucking reason I got faux wood panels behind me. That's why I have like neon lights behind me. That's why I use warmer LUTs that I create on here to try to get a film look. I'm all about trying to create a new world. Yes, AI can do that, but no one can say, hey, no one can dissect my brain and put that prompt into AI unless I tell them all that. But I don't even know how to fully communicate that. And that's why I'm an artist, because I try to craft that, because I can't just do it with words. So personally, again, I'm not scared of it.
I don't think I have fears around it. And I think what's going to end up happening too, especially with like building audiences around making content too, I think it's like, I think the Dan Moziri post said something about like, it'll be more about who says the thing than the thing being said. I think that's going to have a lot more value, because everyone, like, human slop existed for years.
Yeah.
We've had human slop for a long time. We've had like, what's it? I used to work in the fitness space. So like an example of human slop would be like fitness chick showing her butt cheeks because she has an arm workout kind of thing, and like putting an inspirational quote in the caption. I'm like, that's not AI made. That's a person that did that. And honestly, with the tool as well, with like the whole kind of slop thing, is like slop is only the decision of the person that's operating the AI. AI doesn't make slop within in and of itself. How you use it is what's going to come out as slop, or it's going to come out as using it as, like, for example, a pre-production tool. Because like that's the only way I use it. Like I have a documentary series with a retail store, and I have to go to every single province to cover a certain sports that I don't know about. And they want storyboards. Like I got a call before getting on here. They want storyboards like next month for 10 films. It's a really, really tough thing to do that without using a pre-production tool to do that at the same time, right? So there's certain ways that you can make the tool work that isn't something that is going to harm other people. And if you're someone that's already going to do that, whether it was AI or whether it was just plagiarizing people, you were going to do that anyways. Those are kind of the things you have to think about, right? Like a lot of this AI slop is going to be the decision of the people using the tool, not necessarily the tool of itself, because we've been doing it already. Like we've had slop before AI existed.
Yeah, I think, I don't know why my, hang on, let me fix this real quick. There it goes. I think a perfect example, I had this idea came up with years ago for a music video that I was going to shoot for myself, and it involved a motorcycle accident, being hit by a car. And the reason I never filmed it is because like I have no fucking clue how I'm going to film that. I would love to get an old car and actually hit a real motorcycle, also remove the person from the situation, but like edit it in somehow. But I was like, I don't have the budget, I don't have the means, I don't have the team to do that. I don't know how the fuck I would do that. Now that we have AI, I would figure out a way to mash the two. So I would try my best to film all the parts, utilize AI to finish it, to execute it. You can hate me all you want. I fucking just executed the original idea that I had. And again, just a motorcycle accident's not original, but it's the plot around. I still want to do it someday, but now that idea is feasible for me. I can actually execute that idea. It's still going to take a lot of creative knowledge and trickery to execute it still. So personally, I do see a near future where I do utilize AI. Currently, I don't personally need it, but I'm not super, and just as Kofi was saying, all the slop out there, how many motherfuckers do we see out there creating cringy dance videos or people talking to the camera as if they're the center of the universe? I'm just like, this is cringy as fuck. How's that any different than the AI? That's all it's going to be. It's just more slop, human slop, AI slop, whatever it is. It's just slop.
Like, I mean, to be fair, the societal pushback on that is like AI has a giant impact on the environment. Which, I mean, also the same thing with like cars and making camera tools and stuff in the beginning, but like AI just adds to more of the negative environmental impacts, right? Which I can get behind. I can get behind that being a thing. Also, it trains on other people's works, and I think Cindy Benjamin said it just now that AI hurts the existence of everything, whether you use it or not. And I'm like, yeah, but the cat's already out of the bag. Like, if we could have prevented it, we would have been like everybody across the board. I think in this chat in between me and Cam, if we could not make it exist, we wouldn't have it exist.
Yeah.
But I can't change that now. So it's not a what could we have done? Can we go back in time and stop AI? It's here. It's already here. So let's create something or a culture around, well, let's not use it for the thing that we're afraid of.
And it's already a $1 trillion industry too. Our government's already wrapped up into it. There's a huge, it's floating the whole US economy right now. Like we can't stop that. Us little creators, we're not anything to that. So I don't know. And let's pivot. Let's pivot back to the authenticity, because we already know that AI is a huge driving force in creators now saying, "Oh, I need to be more authentic. I need to separate myself from the AI." So as Kofi was saying, we both agree that we think a lot of creators mean they want to be more original. Do you have any advice for creators to be more original? I always say, obviously my culture is a huge part of it, but I'm slightly autistic. And so I have a weird thing with textures and colors and ambient lighting and yada, like ambient tonality, everything. And like all of that is very intense to my brain. So for me, all that plays into my world building, all that plays into my originality. So if you're not somebody like that and you've always been more of the tech head type of person, and you now are questioning yourself like, wait, what's my worth? Is my worth just in the gear that's not even needed anymore because AI's here and anybody can create a pretty image? What is my self-worth now? What's my original, who am I? What's your advice to that?
I think where you're going to find your authenticity and identity on social media is the conversations that you have offline. And if those reflect in your content, because realistically, think about it this, like me and you talk about the same things here as we do when we're in person. And if the conversation that you have online aren't the same as the ones you have offline, then you're going to have an authenticity problem, because then every time you go online, you have a mask, right? Like I piss everybody off how much I talk about making sure that there's a condo in Ghana. That makes everybody really upset. But how many videos have I put about Ghana? But everybody knows that about me. You know what I mean? There's certain things that I talk about all the time where like, those are things that I have natural conversation with. That's going to be a giant part of your authenticity, not necessarily how you want to portray content. Because if you keep thinking of it as, I want to be authentic in my content, then you're not going to win. You're not going to go far at all. If you keep thinking about, hey, I just want to have the conversation I have inside, outside, way easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I think Kofi had a good point. Again, I don't want to be too crass, because I don't mean to be crass, but I think there's a lot of, creators where They might say something behind closed doors, but they wouldn't confidently say it on camera publicly. And to me, if you can still say those things on camera and say it with your chest, that's authentic.
Yeah.
But a lot of creators are so wrapped up in money. There's a lot of creators that just treat their YouTubes just like businesses, which that's okay. If their audience is watching, that's their right to do so. For me, it gets very difficult to balance it because it's like, this is my livelihood, but I'm also I can't help but to be honest. I can't help but to say my opinion. I can't help to just do what I want to do. So it's a constant dance of being, how can I say my truth, but still, not rub the wrong shoulders or whatever. So for me, it's kind of easy though, because I still say whatever the fuck I want to say. But there's certain things behind closed doors, like brand wise, where I'm like, I probably shouldn't say that because that's going to get me in a lot of trouble. I don't want to get in a lawsuit, things like that. So I don't know.
Also, I was going to say something. Also, I think to the people, like a lot of people's points about like, yes, they've banned things before. The conversation about AI isn't about encouraging it. It's about how to survive it because it's there. And when it goes away, then everything we just said, it's a moot point. We don't have to talk about it anymore. But it's here. So the easy, like, you know what I mean? Like we can wish and want, and it, like, until there's some sort of indication in the immediate future that it's going to be rectified, the best thing we still have to do is figure out how to get around it. Like that's kind of I think I don't want the conversation to get confused about, oh, Cam and Kofi are encouraging everybody to use AI. That's not the point. The point is, it's out there, it's real. People that you are, and business is a competition, right? So if you own a production company, there are production companies that will use AI to your detriment. It doesn't make sense to pretend that it's not there because you're only going to hurt yourself. Those companies, they don't care about you. They're already doing it. They don't care. So how do you survive a thing? And if you learn how to survive a thing, whether it exists or it stops existing, you're fine either way. But you're definitely in a disadvantaged position one of those ways by pretending that it's going to stop existing. That's kind of the point that me and Cam are getting around, right? So like navigating authenticity should always be a thing. It should have been a thing before AI even existed, to be honest with you. And that's why you start to see the creators that grew fast, if you look at them, they grew fast because of that authenticity to begin with, right? But now that there's this added variable that's, I guess, a competitive threat or something like that, we just have to navigate how to do that. And that's the whole part of this conversation, is that we should be having a conversation of not how do we get it banned, because it's not going to happen. Think about it this way. Even trying to get creators to agree on positions in fighting with each other, we can't figure out. We had a whole civil war last year about filmmakers versus real video people just a year ago. And you think we're all going to somehow get on the same page about AI? It's not going to happen. So we have to figure out how do we survive that. And when it goes away, say the bubble bursts or disappears or gets heavily regulated or there's a lack of interest, we'll just come back to the table and we say, cool, it's gone. Now how do we move forward? This whole conversation is how do we move forward?
I think that whole conversation too around real filmmakers versus YouTubers was also a part of a lot of filmmakers kind of holding on to like their industry, possibly leaving them behind. That the industry is kind of dying out. I know a lot of people in LA who are struggling for work right now. And they're also the same people like, oh, I fucking hate YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. But then also privately, hey, if I got into YouTube, any advice? And I think for me, YouTube is like the best way. If you're an original creator, an original creative, an authentic creative in terms of you can stand up for your originality, I think YouTube's a beautiful platform for that.
I'm also going to say one thing that I don't know if a lot of people are going to enjoy this, but I don't necessarily know if the filmmaking niche is a niche anymore. I think filmmaking is a skill, and you're going to have to apply it to whatever you like. Because I think up to the last 10 years, they've all learned how.
That was a bar.
No, and honestly, that's something that I came to terms with when I was in Ghana. Is I don't think people will follow me going forward based on me being a filmmaker. I think people are going to follow me based on the things that I'm interested in and how I present them, which could be anything. Now, there's things that'll algorithmically work based on prior audience engagement or just things I'm effective at doing. But the 2019 version of our niche, even the 2022 version of our niche, I think is going to start to cease to exist. And it's going to be about what does Cam do in application to anything, and not I've come to Cam because I want to be filmmaker, at least into the mass audience of things, especially because you have things like AI. What's gonna be more important is the person saying the thing, because anybody could say anything now with AI. It's gonna be about that person. For example, if you look at like, there's like one TikTok account that I know nothing about this couple, right? I think I worked like the husband I think worked on a Visa commercial that I was on, but they had like a divorce because someone cheated or something like that. I know too much about these people in the last 48 hours, and I have so much content that I've received from them, and I think it's because the algorithms made it more about the person, because people get divorced and shit all the time. Mm-hmm. It's gonna end up being about the person and their individual stories, which is nice because you can apply it to anything using the skills that you used in filmmaking.
Yeah. Caleb had a really good comment here. People don't need to own that being authentic yourself sometimes means you won't be for everyone. Early Linklater or Crowan was artistically but not commercially successful. I don't know what that second part meant, but yeah, there's, I mean, it's no secret in 2024 and 2025, I got a crazy amount of hate. And to me, I was always confused about it because I was like, I'm literally harming nobody. I'm literally just doing what I enjoy doing. I don't get why I'm being hated. And that's the stark difference to a lot of the creators are saying, oh, I want to be more authentic on my channel. To the same time, behind closed doors, they might say something, but they would never say it publicly. And it's because they don't want to fuck up the money, which I respect. But at the same time, for me, I care more about my own authenticity than I do about the money. So that's my own downfall, I would say, though, because I am a 35-year-old man. If I was smarter, you know, I would shut the fuck up about some things. Like, go look at my fucking Instagram stories and you'll see it's not wise for me to be so loud about certain things. But that's me. I'm being authentic to myself. And a lot of people don't like it. But guess what? That's me. Take it or leave it. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm just being myself. So I think it's a very, very, very valid comment he left there.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what, like, I've been thinking about it a lot. And my big thing is, like, what are we going to do? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, AI, the comment Caleb said, AI slop is TV after 1 a.m. before 1998. It's always, like, again, the tool doesn't necessarily dictate the behavior. The person does. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's not necessarily going to be an excuse. I'm not pro AI. I use it for pre-production. If it didn't exist, I'd have to struggle and figure it out again. But because we all have access to it, everyone has access to AI, but not everyone's made slop.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is when I was doing more commercial work, there's a lot of times where I had to do pre-production and draw out what's it called? Storyboards. They looked horrible, but they were enough to communicate what I was thinking. And most importantly, it was to really communicate with the team. I would put them in some of the pitch decks if they weren't horrendous. But it's mostly to communicate with the team. Now that there's AI, I still rather draw them out in my own shitty way. For my brain, that's easier to do. If I go into AI and start doing prompts, like, I find that exhausting, honestly. I don't know why. My brain just does not work that way. I'd rather physically try to draw it out or work with somebody who can physically draw it out. I just find that way easier. So
I started using, like, before even Artlist got their AI stuff, I used something called LTX Studios, especially for the Trish Stratus shoot, because, like, the client wanted every single shot, like, figured out right away. And it was, like, right between where we had the Italy film, sponsors started coming back, like, there was too many things going on. So I tried this LTX Studio thing. And the images didn't look good. Like, I would never use 99.99% of the images that have been from generative AI, I would never use in a real project. Mm-hmm. But with clients that have high expectations, not a lot of time, and don't have a lot of resources, I'm like, hey, this is what I want the shot to look like. This is what it's going to look like when we do it. Works wonders, and I don't have to spend 3 days trying to do it. And there's been times, it's been 2 separate times this year, where another company that I was bidding against used AI to make their pitch deck. I decided not to. I took too long, lost the gig. Mm-hmm. And that's where I was like, okay, I understand where my line is with AI, and I understand that I'm never going to use it for a finished project. But also now this is a weapon forged against me. So what do I do, kind of thing?
Yeah. There was a really good comment here. So we are basically selling our creativity, which is our greatest asset. Here's the thing. I don't know if he meant it this way, but I think people have a really unrealistic expectations of creatives with this whole sponsor bullet. Oh, this is sponsored, you can't trust them. What fucking world are you living in to where you expect us to create all this fucking free content, these tutorials and just entertainment for fucking free? What world, what reality are you living in? Like, you're the same person that's thinking, I love this band. Oh, everybody likes them now, and now they're signed, and now they're making money. I don't like them anymore. Do you know how immature
Cam, I think
that
you meant
is?
the opposite. I think homie
Well,
meant
no,
the opposite.
well, that's why I said I don't think he meant in that context, but that's the other side of it. Of everybody who thinks, oh, you're a creator selling out. The same people who are on sets, the same people who are booking clients. It's the same shit, you know.
Yeah. Thomas has a good question. I don't know if you can scroll close to the bottom.
I'm getting there. What is it?
Is it curious on your thoughts towards being authentic if someone being authentic means being a jerk causing more problems for the community?
Well,
no, I don't. Like,
if they're authentic dickhead, maybe.
No, so hang on. No. I'll have a counterpoint. Let them. And then in 6 months, we'll see where they are. And I'm not going to name anybody, but we know people that are like that. And where are they now? We have to remind you what their names are.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the short term, you get a lot of views. You get a lot of traction from being that. But what ends up happening after 6 months of trying to hate somebody you don't even know? You probably don't have those feelings anymore because you don't even know who the person is. They fizzle out. And a lot of the times, and I can't, these are private conversations that I can't have talk about. A lot of those people want to be in the position of the people that they don't like. They were rejected and they're making it everybody else's problem. And that's how they even got there in the first place. And
There's
then
a word
now,
for it.
Months later, they've doubled back and there's some sort of regret that's there. So yeah, there's people that are going to do that. There's people that are going to make your life a living hell on YouTube or Instagram. Most of the time, those are people that want to be not necessarily in your position, but they want to be in a position better than you are.
Yep. This is what we mean by authentic. Cindy Benjamin said it. Hey, Cam, life is short. You have to be yourself. Don't live it for others. That's what authentic is. Like, applying that to a creative sense is, again, what is your creativity? What stories do you want to tell? What are you passionate about? What textures and details do you want to put into the world? What narratives do you want to put in the world? What message do you want to get out there? That's authentic. But if you do not have, or executing that, putting out to the world confidently without giving a fuck what people are going to think, that's authentic. But if you don't have any of that, if you don't know what your textures and colors are, if you don't know what the details are, if you don't know what your narrative is, if you don't know what your passions are, there's nothing to be authentic about. So this is the whole point of this live here, is for all the creators who are saying, oh, I want to be more authentic, but then their content's not really changing. I think what you guys are trying to say is, I want to be more original. In order to find that, you have to live life. You have to kind of sit down and have an honest conversation with yourself. Fucking write it out. What are moods that you want to share? What emotions do you want to provoke?
Also, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I deleted Threads 3 months ago. My mental health and like how I feel like I show up in content now, especially this like next series with this whole Ghana thing, world's different. Because what affects my level of authenticity was listening to the noise, the unbridled noise of so many other people I don't even know, yelling and screaming all the time, and how it influences my decisions. Like, sometimes I'll run by like my problems about YouTube to my girlfriend sometimes, and she'll like break things down as a person who touches grass, and I'm like, shit. Yeah, I used to be that person that touches grass, but I've spent too much time reading Threads all the time that I actually let that muddle who I actually am on the inside. So I think September or something like that, I deleted it, and I was going to delete it till the end of tech season. And then I logged in for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, no, I hate this place. And then I just left. Deleted my Threads, deleted X. I barely post on Instagram.
Yeah. I forgot when I deleted it, but I am because I have no filter. And so I had to delete it because it's like, and we are very well aware that it's a small minority that's like that negative niche, that group of negativity. But they are very loud. They're way louder than the positive groups. And so it's you can easily find yourself getting caught up in that and trying to defend it or explain it. It's useless. Those people's authenticity doesn't mean you have to be a dickhead. As going back to the other comment, if you are a dickhead and you're unhappy and you're pushing it out to other people, then sure, that might be authentic to them. But they also should probably go to therapy.
Yeah, being a dickhead's authentic to you, that's a you problem. But also, I think someone made something.
This is a good comment here. Blake Ritter might be the only YouTube creator that uses AI in filmmaking in a beautiful and innovative way. Check him out if you haven't. We all know who he is.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what he's doing because he's showing if you are a real fucking creative and you are itching to get your vision out into the world and just to execute it, but you do not have the means or the budget to do it, Blake Ritter is really showing what's possible. I absolutely love what he's doing because it does inspire me of like, hey, I just bought this book that I'm going to try to read here soon. It's kind of hard to do so with ADHD, but Cormac McCarthy, the same guy who wrote No Country for Old Men. I bought that book too. Haven't opened it once, but I'm going to try to read this one. And I just blanked out. What were we just talking about?
Blake Ritter.
Oh yeah. Wait, how was I tying that in?
I could take over on this one because, like,
this is an ADHD brain fart right here.
That's okay. I think what I like about Blake is, in a real way, he's kind of getting like, if he never told you the process, I don't know if many of you would know it's AI, and it was still made by a person. And what his whole thing was, and I think he did like a reel or a short or something on it, where he was talking about like how many takes he tried to do certain things as like in real life, and then certain things where he's like, I don't have money. And if we haven't noticed, like everyone in LA, which is the hub of filmmaking, if that doesn't have enough money floating around for jobs, what do you think the rest of the world is going to do? They're going, like, people are going to start using the thing, but still infusing as much of themselves in it as possible. And it takes down some of those barriers. Like, if you're like the argument for AI, which I've heard from other creators that don't have the resources and also don't live in North America, their argument for it is a lot of the stuff that was gatekept from me from the West, I don't have to worry about because it's on some level it evens a playing field. I'm not making entire projects in AI, but when somebody from the West tells me, oh, well, just do it real or just do it with every like X, Y, and Z, they're like, I don't have those resources. So do I just sit back and kind of sit behind the gate? And when that happens, and I'm like, I mean, I don't live in those places, so like my opinions of that is a bit different, but I could also understand that like when you get outside of us, that's going to be something someone's going to use. And I don't necessarily know if calling it slop is a correct way of saying what Blake is doing, because he's still doing more directing, more pre-production, more filmmaking than most of the people criticizing him.
And he even did a video showing like a comment of saying, oh, this is AI slop. And then he breaks down, I still hire a full team, a full production crew, a full location. We all went out there. We utilized AI to like be the glue, but we still fucking went out there and filmed it. For me, I respect that. I think that's fucking dope. Here's a good comment too from It's Juji. There's too many people who are envious instead of curious. I'm putting that in my back pocket because that's great. And here's another good comment. This is from a homie that's always in the chat and on IG. We live in a capitalist society that doesn't value creativity. It values return on investment and following trends. If AI offers an okay return while supporting the trends, that's good enough for the bosses. Yes, with that, we live in this capitalist society, okay? YouTube, in my mind, is the return of power to the creator, because now we can be a capitalist with our own creativity. Instead of falling to the capitalist structure of being hired for someone else's idea, someone else's plan, we can do that for ourselves now because we are in a capitalist world. So whether you like that or not, like this is the power move to regain that power for yourself. Kira Film said the one thing in particular I like about Cam. Sorry, wow, I'm an idiot. The one thing in particular I like about Cam and Kofi, if you guys are very honest, you don't sugarcoat, and y'all are great at breaking down at what gear is made for whatever audience is intended for. Thanks, bro.
Appreciate that, man. He actually has a really good question later on. I don't know if you want me to read that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Matt Day. What up, homie? Guys.
Hey, Everyone stop. We got Matt Day in the building.
Matt Day
Everyone
is one of those
stop. Pay your
authentic
respects.
people. Go to his channel. He's a dope photographer, very honest, very organic, very authentic, all the cringe words. He's just himself. Go check him out.
I probably wouldn't have got a GFX 50R if I didn't watch and binge on Matt Day's videos.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, Matt's fucking dope. I got several photo books now because of Matt Day. So Matt Day is one of those creators now. So this is Sire's Films question. Hey, Cam Kofi, what is your opinion of people who do need AI in order to help tell the story? In other words, who are using it for the right reasons rather than taking shortcuts, budgeting? So mixed reply here for me, and then I'll let Kofi go. I think if you're using it to enhance the things that you have already put together, I respect that. If you're using it though, just to generate the idea, that's where I'm kind of like, I feel it's kind of lazy. I feel like you should be putting in human creative effort to do as much as you can by yourself, and then using AI to those unapproachable things to execute.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the side of that. I think like if there's still a foundation of human input, but the bottleneck is like, I can't afford this, or I don't have access to that. You know what it is? You know what I'm kind of at with that is like, who am I to tell you who am I to be the authority on like what's good AI and what's bad AI? And that's kind of where I'm like, I can make these hard set rules, but then like, will I live by them forever? If I like shoe being on the other foot, realistically, I'm privileged to have access to gear, crews, and sometimes budget for certain things. But if I'm somebody that's not that, what value is it for me to be like, well, these are the rules of good AI and bad AI? And that's where I'm like, if you have human foundation, and if the person that's doing the AI thing doesn't like knows that what they're doing is nefarious, then that's on you. Like, I think that the whole like who is it bad or who's it good for kind of depends on the person that's using it, because I don't know if I'm in the position to start telling people that has a lack of resources but still wants to execute on something whether or not they're allowed to do that. Because then that feels a little bit weird too. That feels like you're kind of taking an authoritarian position on something you have no authority over.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say like if you think you're going to do it for a bad reason, or you think that there's a moral quandary with doing it, I would suggest not doing it.
Yep. I'm gonna look at my notes here and see if there's anything else I was going to go over. Again, I think I touched on Joe Rogan's podcast with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, right? I think I did that. We went over Adam Mosseri's, the head of Instagram's post. We talked a little bit about Maddie's post. I know Maddie also just put out a video today too that led into Adam Mosseri's head of Instagram's post. So go check that out. Yeah, I think that's mostly everything. I just saw another thing. So I watch Breaking Points. They're a political news channel. One host is a conservative progressive. The other one is just like a leftist progressive. And they're independent for the most part. And their title is Ben Affleck exposes AI companies' financial lies. So there's a million things going on in the AI world to where I do think at some point it might plateau a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from there. All this, we're in the Wild West right now in terms of technology and creative livelihoods. But I think at the end of the day, if you're an original creator and you're utilizing platforms to get your world out there, I think you're going to be fine, honestly. I think we're going to constantly have to be learning how to make it sustainable and authentic, what's the word? Like safe, responsible way. But yeah, I don't know if we're missing out on anything.
Caleb, I get the point of the budgeting being different concern than Hollywood exec than DIY youth in the third world. I think the only thing is that you can't really distinguish and separate them. But the unfortunate reality is that we can't separate them. We have they're gonna naturally be in the same boat. I wish we can separate them. I wish there was like a government mandate where Hollywood films have to tell you there's AI, but there isn't, right? Like that, the thing is that like, yes, a lot of these things I wish that we can do, but our governments are like both the Canadian and American government, right? Like I don't live in the United States. Both of them are pretty open about not doing it. So
Hmm.
again, it all comes down to at this current junction in time, this is the situation. What happens now?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we beat the dead horse here on this. Um,
Yeah, I think just to make sure that everybody um, realizes that I don't think Mia or Cam is saying using AI for the replacement of filmmaking is a good idea.
no,
The
all we're saying
tools,
it's there's only so much we can do to control it, and at some point, us crying about it and fighting over it, we're literally it's like all of us are just peasants and we're all fighting each other because of what the king's doing. And it's like, we can't stop the king. We have no control over the king. So we need to figure out how to stay ahead of it by being original and not touching it, or learning how to utilize it to keep up with it. And everybody who's pushing back against it, it's like, this is like everybody pushing back against the internet. And look at where we're at now.
yeah. And again, like my thing is if you're gonna give everybody a gun, the best three things is learn de-escalation, how to shoot, and how to protect and how to prevent anyone else that shouldn't have that firearm from having that firearm.
Yeah.
And until it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And because like and again, like I don't want anyone to necessarily get into a situation where you lose a job because another production company outbid you using AI. And that is going to be a very real reality for a lot of people. I'm a little bit separated from it because I don't take as much freelance work as I used to. For other people, that's going to be a really hard thing to come to grips with. Is that there are companies that are looking at this AI thing and they're saying, okay, I've already seen production companies,
Yeah.
and now they're offering corporate AI packages where they're like making corporate video using AI and using I think like Sora or Higgsfield or something like that, and they don't care. They're like, my bottom line is what's important. Feeding my family is more important than what your opinions are on AI.
Yeah.
And those are the
And
people you're up against, and there's more of them.
if you utilize creativity as a means of business, in terms of clients, don't get it twisted. Those clients don't give a fuck about your livelihood. They care about their bottom dollar. So for all of us to be romantic of, oh, it's going to take jobs, blah, blah, blah. Don't fucking blame the AI. Blame the fucking clients. And blame yourself, because it's now our time. We cannot stop it. So now we have to take the responsibility of how to utilize it, how to get ahead of it, especially if you're in this for business. Who in their fucking mind, when it comes to business, says, oh, that's going to kill my business. Let me cry about it. That's not going to stop it. That's not going to save your fucking business. So if you are a business-minded person, learn to get ahead of it. But if you're a real creative, the way to get ahead of it is originality, innovating, getting your world out there on multiple platforms, getting ahead of it, and possibly learning how to utilize it, sadly. And that's just where we're at. Hopefully, maybe it plateaus and it goes away. Hopefully, that's cool, whatever. But right now, it's not looking that way, sadly.
Sire has a pretty good question. I have two takes that oppose each other with it, but it's the last thing he says. Agree or disagree? With the amount of available gear that's available, we as indie filmmakers will have a louder voice over Hollywood in the future, given festivals, YouTube, and distribution. On one end, I want to say in some ways, yes. Depending on, like, if Hollywood gets worse, like if Hollywood turns out worse movies over time, yes. I would say that people are going to have a different appetite for something else. The hard part is that Hollywood still has far more money than any individual one person. And because we even like creators within of ourselves spend so much time fighting each other that we don't get on the same page, that scenario will only exist if creators stop fighting each other about trivial things and actually start working together, which I don't know, because things like AI and YouTube are so polarizing between our space. I don't know if I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know if we necessarily have the ability to come together and actually take on something that's bigger. And I think that's what will give Hollywood that advantage. Now, the thing that is a growing, unfortunate potential future is that the way to have indie filmmakers take over Hollywood in the future might certifiably be AI. And I don't like saying it. I don't like thinking about it, but if I'm thinking about it realistically, if I'm taking off the emotion hat off of something, if the tool that is going to give you Hollywood results is the one thing that Hollywood is afraid of you having access to, that would probably mean that you can use that against them if you want to take over Hollywood as an indie filmmaker, if that's the case that we want to get into. But it's also just something that like is a really icky thing to think about. But if I'm being realistic, that might be a possible future. I don't know where Cam went.
I didn't hear anything you said, but I had to go pee.
Basically what I said is like, yes, indie filmmakers can take over AI. Hard part is that we don't come together enough to Hollywood is gigantic. We are a bunch of individuals where imagine me fighting a bunch of like 4-year-olds. Unless the 4-year-olds start working together, yeah, I'm probably going to win if I have to face 200 of them. But the thing is, us being the 4-year-olds, we spend too much time crying, screaming, pissing, and fighting that we won't really, I don't know if we have the ability. And I think what would have to happen is that we would have to come to some sort of, as indie filmmakers or independent creators, have to come to some sort of agreement together and how that ends up happening. I just don't know if historically we haven't done that.
Yeah.
I want to be wrong, but I would say.
I don't think we'll have any sway over Hollywood like that. Because we're already seeing big, I mean, look at One Battle After Another. That shit felt like a fucking indie film, but like a big budget indie film. And I don't even know how it did in the box office. I think it did decent. Look at Sinners. Sinners felt like a very fucking original film. It felt like back in the 90s, like a Tarantino type of production where it was just all unique. So I think those filmmakers maybe being influenced maybe by indie films, but even them, like their original films were very indie film. So I think they would have more sway over it. But even that we're seeing that, I think what we're going to see is more type of indie films, but I don't think they're going to be theatric releases. I think we're going to see more great indie films, but I think they're going to be going straight to streaming probably. And I think that's going to be a whole different niche of Hollywood coming up. And then because what's filling out the movie theaters is still the fucking superhero movies, which is wild. I'm personally burnt out on superhero films. I think they're incredibly boring now. But that's, again, we have no control over the mass population and what they want to see. Like you gotta be really dense to think you're that important to fight the mass populations and their movement.
I'll tell you right now, my family doesn't care if something's made by AI or not. They don't give a shit. As long as it satisfies what they're looking for, they don't care. Anytime
I would go to my mom's house, they were scrolling on their phones, watching the most shitty fucking movies that I never heard of, but just watching them like, what the fuck? Like, AI can make it look better than that. AI would probably have a better story than what they're watching, and they're fucking watching it. So, again, all of us being romantic, thinking, someone's got to come save us. No, it's the mass population. But anyways, we got to wrap this up. My computer's at 6% battery. I could go get the charger, but we've also been on for almost 2 hours. So, Kofi, appreciate you being a part of this. For all of our fellow creators, I hope some of them watch this and maybe that helped them a little bit, get some guidance on what it means to be authentic. I think we're using the word wrong. I think it's being more original. So, any last words? 6% battery.
I don't think so, man. I think learn how to use the thing. I don't encourage using it in place of filmmaking, but I do encourage, like, if it's something that is going to be a legitimate threat, the only way to learn how to move around it is to learn what it is. Running away from it's not going to do anything for you. Even if you never use it, even if you never use AI ever in your life, understanding how it works and how it moves, I don't know. Yep. Learn to be original or learn how to utilize it. That's the best way to do it. All right, guys. Peace out. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. No worries. Peace. All right. Peace.